Down in Turnerville, Georgia, about 15 miles south of the shop, a little lower elevation. Today is the last day that we're harvesting nucs for sale in the store that were generated with these double screen boards. We have about 80 to sell on Saturday, and then we're going to be done with selling nucs. Woohoo! Try to move on and start getting our own stuff in good shape. This yard had several losses this last winter. I do know we have some older queens in these colonies, so several yellow dot queens, which would have been 2022 queens, and that's too old in my view. This is one of those yards that didn't get completely requeened, and it shows. It shows up, you know, overwintering and spring performance and all that, at least in these southern locations down where we're at. I know northern beekeepers can get a couple years out of a queen, but you know, the farther south you go, the quicker the queens wear out. That's my experience anyway. Anyway, we made these up about 2.5 weeks ago, put a gallon bucket on them, have not been back since, so it'll be interesting to see what our take was. We got some Jester nuc boxes on the truck to harvest them with, and then it's still cool this morning, so no problem with overheating. Put the nucs back on the truck and then haul them to the shop for Saturday morning. This is an interesting little tip. We ran out of our double screen boards in this yard, so we literally started putting boxes, just letting them sit on top of the colony underneath. These bees are using this little slot there for an entrance. So that's a split sitting up on top there. We got several of them in this yard. I see another one right there. It's simply because we ran out of double screen boards. And that works. Works fine, actually.
It's all laid up.
Yeah. These colonies that had these double screens on top of them were left with an empty second story 2.5 weeks ago. And they're full now. So there's a little bit of brood in them. We're going to give these colonies a third deep box today, and then honestly I wish I had the time to chase the queen down into the bottom. This is the perfect time to slip a queen excluder in there, but we just don't have that time today. We got to finish these nucs. This one's full of honey too, doing really good. Foundation, brand new foundation drawn out. It's good honey too. It's mixed. I see some light and some dark. I know the tulip poplar is flowing today. The black locust is blooming too. So these will definitely get a third deep box today. That's good news. Making some honey. We brought enough deep boxes with us today to put on these colonies. So this colony is not doing quite as well as the others. They will get a third box, but they're just not quite up to snuff like the rest, and there's a reason for it. Of course, this is my opinion. I know people are going to disagree, but the reason that this colony is a little smaller is that yellow dot queen right there, if she's showing up in the camera, is from 2022. And I know it's more of a problem with southern beekeepers than northern beekeepers because we have a much longer brooding up period. But I think when a queen's 2 years old in our area, she's over the hill. If this queen would have been replaced last year, this colony would have been more robust. And yeah, I know there's 2-year-old queens that still do a great job, but my opinion is they were doing a better job when they were 1 year old or less. So we're not going to kill this queen today. We're going to restart all of these nucs above these double screen boards. We're just leaving them with 1 or 2 frames of brood, and we'll put a queen cell in them tomorrow, and then 3 or 4 weeks from now we'll come back, and then we will kill this queen and we will requeen it with the nuc that we're creating above the double screen board. And of course today we're harvesting the nuc we started 2.5 weeks ago. That'll be sold in the day after tomorrow. But this is one way to continue to use these double screen boards 3:31. Today's, let's see, 4:25. So it's been a little over 3 weeks for these. Hope we have a good take. We only need to get about a 2/3 take out of this yard and we'll have everything we need for Saturday. Anything left over will just be extras. We do have a waiting list. Some people are on a list to hopefully to get our leftovers. I think we'll have a few. We're going to harvest these and put them in jesters today. Okay, let's see what one of these nucs looks like. Just a little over 3 weeks old. They were started with 2.5 frames of brood average, frame of food, and a frame of just an empty comb. They got fed twice, and there's a little bit of a nectar flow today, and they are sitting on go. They're really perfect.
That's the outside.
That's the outer frame, yeah. So I know it's kind of like double labor taking them out of the wooden box that we started them on, but it absolutely forces us to take a good look at this thing before it gets sold. We look at the brood. We have to find the queen, of course, so really makes us look at this thing. Now Selena I trust completely, but we have other people helping us from time to time, and forcing them to look at the nuc before it gets sold is probably a good thing to make sure we're not screwing something up. This one looks pretty nice. What's so perfect about this 3.5 week situation is that they're loaded with sealed brood, and that all the brood that this queen started to lay is not hatching yet, but it's just days away from beginning to. And when this thing starts to hatch off all that brood she laid, it's going to explode. I mean, a week from now, this is going to be 6 or 7 frames of bees at least. And so the timing is perfect for selling them. It's a nice day too. A lot of the bees are out in the field. We got a little bit of black locust going on and other odds and ends. So this has a lot of drones in it because that's what they would have been put in there when we created these nucs. We built them in a different yard and screened them off and moved them here and waited about half a day and then introduced the queens into them. These are Indian summer queens, which generally lay pretty darn good out of the gate. And of course not everything makes it. We have a couple duds here, a couple that didn't accept the queen and they're raising their own. That's just expected. She's on the wall. There she is, yeah. So we treat them just like ours. We'll give them a little dose of probiotics. Shake these bees into the box. And of course, once all the field force comes home, they'll be a little fatter than that. It's a beautiful day. I know that quite a few of the bees are out foraging right now. So these are very nice nucs. They're getting sold day after tomorrow. We'll come in here tomorrow evening and pick them up and band them and get them ready to sell out on Saturday morning. Just getting started here. Louie is vacuuming off the hitchhiker bees on these nucs. We have about 75 nucs going out this morning, and we don't want to be loading them into people's cars with bees all over them. Some people don't mind. Some people really mind. Anyway, this is the last day of bee sales. We've been looking forward to this day. These are spring nucs. This will be, let's see, around 400 spring nucs sold. We also sold 200 packages. We sold 150 overwintered nucs. We sold about 450 colonies. So we did sell a fair amount of bees. And we're really looking forward to this phase being over. The next phase being getting all of our own stuff worked on and fixed up. So customers are just starting. It's early in the morning. It's cool. We have to have a conversation with everybody. People that are going a long distance. We don't want them putting them in their trunk of their car, stopping for lunch, letting them overheat. Some of these have quite a few bees in them, and it's real easy for them to overheat. Like this gentleman right here is going down around Charlotte. That's a 3.5, 4-hour drive. I've told him he needs to put his rear windows down and let the air blast across these nucs, put on the coat, and kind of grin and bear it. I have had people call me up after a long drive and say the bees are greasy looking and half of them are dead, and I know exactly what happened. They overheated, and this fella out here is putting them in the back of his pickup truck, so that'll be no problem. These jester boxes do have a lot of ventilation holes, but if there's a lot of bees in there, the bees will actually kind of jam their own holes and kind of plug up their own ventilation, so it can be a problem. Otherwise, these jesters are pretty good. They're good transportation boxes. I don't care. See this fella, he doesn't even want one bee on there. And I get it. I mean, you know, maybe his wife's with him or something. And so, yeah, I get it. In one respect, we're going to miss the bee sale days because they generate so many equipment sales for the store. Louie's been busy all morning long getting orders shrink wrapped so people can pick them up. Frames, lids, bottom boards, boxes, little everything. Yeah, we sold quite a bit of stuff today. Of course, we'll continue selling bee supplies, but bee sale days are always the biggest. I told these folks it's my new hobby, making videos, and they're telling me that this is beekeeping. This is their new hobby.
That's right.
So a lot of hobbyist beekeepers showing up in here. And we appreciate the business. Thank you.
Thank you.